Guys, it's Deb98 here, and welcome to my top 10 movies of all time. I watched a video of Aussie Tacos with a friend of mine, linked to his video in the description of his top 10 favourite movies of all time, and I thought, you know what, no, I need to prove him wrong as to why his movies aren't the best, and I need to show you my top 10. I have a few honorable mentions to start things off. We have Avengers and Batman Begins, two fantastic superhero movies. They would probably be drawn 12th if I had 12 movies, or really 13. And number 11 would be Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Fantastic film. Came out in January, at least in Australia, and I watched it with a couple of other people. They didn't really like it, but I saw there was a certain genius about the movie. It all was shot to look like it was in one take, and that it fools your brain. You're thinking, how can this be in one take? You can see where they obviously made cuts, but it wasn't obvious. Alright, so that's it for my honorable mentions. Time to get in my top 10. Okay, number 10 is the Shawshank Redemption. Great movie. Probably one of the better movies on this list, but coming at 10 on my favorites. It was a great movie, starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins in, they call, a supporting role, but he's the main character, come on. Both fantastic. Morgan Freeman was nominated for Best Actor in 1994 for his role. He was fantastic. Tim Robbins was fantastic. A great overall cast. And it sort of left you on a cliffhanger. You didn't know what was going to happen to these characters, but you really wanted to find out. Sadly, a sequel was never made. We didn't get a Shawshank Redemption 2. But I think everyone who saw the movie really wanted one. Okay, coming in at number 9 is Captain America 2, or Captain America the Winter Soldier. This is one of the more recent Marvel movies. It was more than just a superhero movie, though. It was a spy thriller. You were left on the edge of your seat through that entire movie, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Some of the plots you could sort of see coming, or something happened to you, like, nah, that's not really, forget that happened, we've got a solution further down the line. But it was really sort of different. Before this, we had Thor 2 was the movie directly before this, and it was really disappointing. And for Marvel to come back with Captain America 2 hit such a high point that I don't think Marvel are going to ever hit again as far as good movies are concerned. Chris Evans, fantastic as Captain America, is really coming into his own. I think he's sort of beginning to love playing this character. He hadn't wanted to keep playing this actor before Captain America 2 came out. He eventually wanted to give it up and he wanted to become a director. But hopefully this movie proved to him why he should stay Captain America, because he's fantastic in the role and people love him as Captain America. Number 8, we have The Dark Knight, or Batman The Dark Knight. This was the movie directly following Batman Begins. You've got Christopher Nolan returning as Batman, Heath Ledger, a Oscar-winning role, actually, as the Joker. Fantastic. Jared Leto has some really big shoes to fill, but Heath Ledger, he took himself to such a dark place. You only get performances like that by the actors like Heath Ledger. They really absorb themselves into the role. Number 7, we have a Christmas movie. You have to have some sort of holiday movie on your top 10 list. I think mine will take the cake. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase as Clark W. Griswold. He's got the whole gang. Of course, they changed the cast for the two children over the movies, but the entire family, they share such a good on-screen chemistry. It is a hilarious movie. You don't even have to watch the entire movie to get a laugh. You don't actually have to watch the movie itself or the trailers. You can watch the opening credits and you'll laugh your ass off. That's how funny this movie is. Probably the funniest opening credits I've ever seen. It has to be probably my second favorite opening credits, but it definitely has to be the funniest. Number 6, we have Die Hard 3 or Die Hard with a Vengeance. Bruce Willis returning as John McClane. You've got Samuel L. Jackson as Zeus, not the Greek god Zeus, but just a badass character called Zeus. It's a big game of Simon Says, going around, I believe it was New York or Chicago actually. Die Hard with a Vengeance. It has Jeremy Irons playing the villain, Simon Gruber. Ooh. Yes, it takes place in New York City, where the Federal Reserve is actually. Yeah, that makes sense. It was a great movie. A great action movie. People expect Die Hard 1 to be everyone's favourite Die Hard movie, but Die Hard 3 is my favourite. I don't know why, it just sort of connected with me on a level that the first Die Hard didn't. Number 5, we have Gone Girl. By far Ben Affleck's best performance of his career. Argo was good. This was great. Rosamund Pike, I've not seen Still Alice, so I don't know if Julianne Moore really 100% deserved that Oscar that she won this year for Best Actress. Rosamund Pike, out of all the movies I watched, would definitely be the best actress of the year. She was fantastic. You didn't see Rosamund Pike, which is strange because in other movies she was in, like Jack Reacher, I was going to say Jack Ryder. Not quite, but Jack Reacher. She was an actress. You could see that she was an actress. But in Gone Girl, you didn't see an actress. You just saw an actual person. You were left on the edge of your seat throughout the entire movie. That is a reason why I loved it so much. I have the book right here, written by Gillian Flynn. A great book. A great screenplay. A great script. Great performances. Great directing by it was Fincher, right? That directed Gone Girl? Of course came out last year. And yeah, it was directed by David Fincher. The director of Fight Club, which is most people's favourite David Fincher movie. But I just love Gone Girl. Number 4, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This is my favourite Marvel movie of all time. Avengers didn't make the list simply because Guardians of the Galaxy made the list. A lot of people will disagree with me on that, but Guardians of the Galaxy was hilarious. It was action-packed. Did I mention it was pretty fucking hilarious? It was a space opera. Have you seen Chris Pratt act on Parks and Recreation? If you have seen that, you've seen about half of the acting skill that he has. And I love Parks and Recreation. I love Andy Dwyer on Parks and Rec, Chris Pratt's character. But he's gone beyond just being a good comedic actor. He's become a good actor. They're very different things. Some people don't realize this. Good comedy actors aren't necessarily actually good actors. They might just have good comedic timing. They might have really funny scripts that make them seem more funny. But he was great in Guardians of the Galaxy. Dave Bautista, in, I believe, his second movie, first movie being the 2012 Man with the Iron Fist, I think. He was really quite good in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's not great. He served his purpose. Other than that, you've got Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper voice acting. Not actually acting, but voice acting. And they made probably the two most memorable characters of the movie. Probably the two most memorable characters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They were great. You've got Vin Diesel. Okay, his entire script was saying, I am Groot. That's all he had to say throughout the entire movie. He said, I am Groot. He practiced it in the recording booth more than 5,000 times to get different emotions across. It was great. On to the top three. Number 3, we have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Michael Cera, he's become a little bit notorious ever since Superbad of being an absolute pain to work with on set because he feels like he's the big dog on campus, apparently. But that doesn't show through in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was amazing. Directed by Edgar Wright. Yeah, he was going to make the Ant-Man movie, but things fell through, and I'm sad about that because he did a great job on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Michael Cera, you've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the real love interest. The entire cast did a fantastic job, a phenomenal job. Really a brief cameo, more than anything, by Chris Evans. That's right, Chris Evans. He was hilarious in this movie. Absolutely hilarious. Very brief cameo, but he was fantastic. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, it looked like you were in a video game. You've got special effects coming up on the screen, but it's not like fireballs or lightning or anything like that. It's like scores and that sort of stuff, like video game scores. It had video game retro sound effects. You don't see that in movies ever, but Scott Pilgrim in the World vs. the World did it. It did really badly at the box office, which I think is a reason why there wasn't a second one. It was also based off comic books, which they didn't make a second batch of comic books, which may have been another reason. Of course, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, it came onto DVD. So many people bought it. For good reason too. It is a phenomenal movie. It's a hilarious movie. Let's get on to number 2. I have seen this movie 3 times in less than a month. I think it's 3 times in about 3.5 weeks or 4 weeks. It is Kingsman, The Secret Service. It really gets back to the roots of spy movies. Really cheesy 70s, 80s spy movies. The ones with Pierce Brosnan, the ones with Roger Moore, with Sean Connery. Those Bond movies. Get Smart gets a mention in this movie. It's fantastic. You've got Colin Firth. Please, mate, get out of those romantic comedies. Get out. Do more movies like Kingsman. There's going to be a second Kingsman. It's doing so well at the box office right now. It has like $70 million in its first 3 weeks. For a movie with a low budget, that is amazing. You've got Taron Egerton, who's in talks with Marvel, Sony, to be the next Spider-Man. I love Logan Lerman and I love Dylan O'Brien in, Perks of Being a Wallflower, Maze Runner, respectively. But leave talks. Let Taron Egerton get this role. He's amazing. He has a TV show, I'm pretty sure it's a British TV show, called Smoke. I've not seen that. The only thing I can take his acting skill by is Kingsman, which he's fantastic in. So please, Marvel, Sony, take notes, get him in Spider-Man. You've got Samuel L. Jackson as the villain. He has a lisp, but in a spy movie, in an action movie, he can't stand the sight of blood. You don't see that, ever. In his words, if he sees a spot of blood, it's just, projectile. But it's a fantastic film. Seeing this movie 3 times in less than 4 weeks, That should show you how much I love this film. Just go watch it. On to number 1. Now you may ask yourself, what could possibly beat a movie that I saw 3 times in less than a month? How about a movie that I have seen more than 10 times within the first month of me finding out it existed? Okay, this movie, it's a superhero movie, but it's not Marvel. It's a superhero movie, but it's not DC. It's a superhero movie that is dark, that is gritty, that is violent, that is crude, that has more swearing than any movie I've ever seen. And that is from 2010, and it's Kick-Ass. The title role, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, fine. Absolutely fine. He was great in the movie. Chloe Grace Moretz, the standout in the movie. She was 13, I believe, at the time of this movie being made, and she was cutting people up and slicing their arms and legs off, shanking them, shooting them, and swearing in the same scene at 13 years old. She was killing people to the theme song of Bananarama. If you don't know what that is, look it up right now. Okay, it's a fantastically absurd scene. You'll never see anything like it again. You've got Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who's fine as the character Red Mist, Chris D'Amico. You've got Mark Strong playing the villain, who's great in the movie. He's in Kingsman as well. I forgot to mention that. He's great in Kingsman. You've got... who else do you have? You have Nicolas Cage, of course. How can I forget? Fantastic in the movie. Absolutely fantastic in the movie. His best actual performance... He has one real Nicolas Cage scene. By that I mean an over-the-top real scene. But it's well-founded. There's never a well-founded Nicolas Cage scene, but in this movie there is one. He's great in the movie. Everyone in this movie is great, but no characters in this movie are even good. There are no good people in Kick-Ass, and that's what I love about it. It sort of follows real life. Real life, the amount of real good people is very slim compared with the amount of really crap people. That is what I love about Kick-Ass. It's realistic. What would happen if someone wanted to be a superhero? This is what would happen. And I love it for that reason. I guess that'll be it for the top 10. I'll see you guys soon. A new video with Arendelle should be out within the next week. If it's not, then it will be really soon because it's all recorded, it's all edited, it's all done. It would be a problem with internet or something like that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.